When you think of some of my reviews in the subcompact SUV segment, what vehicles come to mind? Maybe my Chevy Trax review or the Honda HR-V maybe. What about the Hyundai Kona? Hey guys, welcome to Chris Mack. In this review, I have the all-new second generation Hyundai Kona Inline all-wheel drive. Now I'm going to show you all of its different features, take it on a drive, and give you guys my final verdict. But let's go ahead and get into this review. You know what? Let's do remote start this time. Lock the doors, hold down the button. Every time. Let's get into this review, shall we? Let's go. Looking at the outside of the 24 Hyundai Kona, this is your key fob right here. Very Iron 6 in its design. We have lock, unlock, a remote start, as well as a panic button. Now, as equipped, this vehicle is about $34,295. It is dressed in a Atlas white exterior for $450. Now, this new generation of Kona is actually based around the electric version and then is adapted for internal combustion engines. But looking at the front end design of this Inline, which is slotted just below the limited package, you have a little bit more of a sporty front diffuser with LED lighting. So you have your LED daytime running lights up top. Now, I do presume when the electric version does come out, the bar will go all the way across the front of the vehicle with your LED low beams right there and your LED high beams. You have halogen turn signals down below. You can also see the Inline badging right there. This diffuser up front is so much more sportier and aggressive than the standard limited SEL or SE package, which I will show you guys at a later date. Looking over here at the wheels, this is a 19-inch Aero style wheel with a black and silver finish wrapped in 235 width tires. Speaking of dimensions, this vehicle has grown 5.7 inches longer and 2.3 inches wider. Do like the flared out wheel arches right there in the front as well as the back. Definitely more off-road kind of SUV looking. Blacked out mirror caps with keyless entry for the front door handles, as well as blacked out roof racks up top. And you do have a moonroof, which I will show you guys once we hit the interior. Here's a quick look at your window sticker right here, $34,295. I'll put all the information in the description below. Gas tank is over here on the driver's side. Coming around to the rear of the Kona, this is your rear running light, which sweeps the entire rear length of the vehicle. Almost fell. But you do also have LED brake lights down here with your halogen turn signals and halogen reverse lights right there. Being the Inline, you do have a more sportier rear diffuser as well with a single exit dual exhaust, 1.6 and H-Track badging down below. And Kona is actually spelled out in the middle of the vehicle, which looks cool. But let me show you guys the trunk space. You'll find 26 cubic feet of space, which is up from 20 in the previous generation. And if you do fold down the seats, which do fold down in a 60-40 fashion, it'll expand to 63.7 cubic feet of space. Your first aid kit is over here, little LED illumination, your cargo mats, and you do have a temporary spare tire down below with a subwoofer in the back. And of course, your cargo is hidden right there with the cargo cover. The limited package should have a power tailgate. Let me get a 3/4 rear view for you guys right there. Boom. I'm loving this wing though right here. This kind of two design wings. So you got one piece right here on this side and then one piece on the other. And it's like kind of aerodynamic right here in the middle. This looks so cool. What an amazing styling element. But now let me show you guys under the hood. Now, all the powertrains are carryover from the previous generation, including the electric version as well. Oh, no more prop rod. It's gas strut. But I'm looking under the hood of this Kona. You have a 1.6 liter turbo 4-cylinder, makes 190 horsepower with 195 pound-foot of torque. You'll get 24 in the city, 29 on the highway, and 26 combined. Vehicle weight is 3,483 pounds. The base engine is a 2 liter, which makes 147 horsepower. And you do also have an electric version coming, which has 260 miles of all-electric range. Gone is the 7-speed dual clutch with this 1.6, and in place is a 8-speed automatic transmission, which I can't wait to try on the road. It should be a lot smoother. Get a 3/4 front view for you guys right here. Boom. The exterior is great, but now let's go ahead and check out the interior. Hopping inside of the back seats. I have the seat adjusted for my frame at 5'6", and I have about maybe 3-4 inches of legroom. As far as headroom goes, I have about 2.5 inches of headroom, which is definitely pretty good in the segment. Now the Kona did actually grow in the back seats. It's about 30% more backseat legroom. You do have 2 air vents right there with 2 USB-C ports for charging, a mat pocket, and then your center console right here with 2 cup holders and some LED illumination up top. Here's a quick look to the front cabin. But let's go and hit the driver's seat of the Kona where all the action happens. Looking over here, your door panels, you have your window controls and mirror controls over here with your power seat controls with a 2-way lumbar support, back and bottom support right there. Your hood releases right there. You do have aluminum brake and gas pedals with a parking brake. The steering wheel is a manual tilt and telescoping column. Your cluster illumination, traction, as well as your hill descent function right there. You see a little bit more of the red accents around the interior versus the regular models with this inline package. So you have red stitching around the seats with a slight suede finish right there in the middle. And you of course have N embroidered right there in the back of the seats. Looks so nice. Ah, man, it's hot out there. It's 95. But I'm hopping inside of the Kona. Let me move the seat back so you guys can see the full width of the interior. You have this 3-spoke steering wheel right here with more red stitching. New for the inline is paddle shifters. The previous generation didn't have paddle shifters, so that's a nice addition that they did add. And then of course you have your light controls over here with your wiper controls on this side as well as the rear wiper. On this side of the steering wheel is how you can configure and control your 12.3-inch central cluster as well as your driver assist technology. And on this side is for your radio functions and your voice command over there. Use the page button right there and you can toggle up and down. So let me show you guys the various different modes. So right here is your drive assist mode or page, your all-wheel drive, so it'll show you where it's sending power, tire pressure, MPGs, as well as heading right there. You see right there, you do have a digital tach and speedo. But looking over here at the infotainment, which is the main star piece. But before I show you guys that, let me show you guys the gear shifter, which is on the stock as well. So you got push forward for drive, neutral, and then reverse, which will pull up a backup camera with rear parking sensors right there. You basically push for park. But now looking a little bit more at the infotainment, this is also a 12.3-inch display. This is your home page right here. You do have built-in navigation. So let's try the quick navigation test. As you can see, navigation is very quick and easy and very responsive as well to pick up a destination. But let's go back to your home page. Here's your home page right here. You also have wired CarPlay and Android Auto. So I do want to try a quick CarPlay test with a 8-speaker Bose sound system. Now, unfortunately, it isn't wireless, but for the time being, it is wired. I'm hoping they do add that at a later date. But let's try out the sound system.
Let's go. Yeah. I'm like an addict, do I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it, fuse like a magnet. Lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing, got a weird mind. If you work 8 hours, I'ma work 9. If the shit tastes sour, you should taste mine. I'ma stay in power for a long time.
As you can see, the 8-speaker sound system has a lot of bass and sound quality. Definitely is impressive and is a class leader for sure. Your phone connectivity functions, your CarPlay right there, voice memos, your weather functions, so it'll show you the weather in the area when you are connected to the BlueLink. Valet mode, some settings right here. Let me show you guys that. So under here is your vehicle settings. So you can change everything for your driver assist, your climate controls, your lighting, the door, as well as a digital key and some more convenience features right there. And if you do make a mistake, I do like that you have a back button right here, so you can go back. Navigation settings, you can change and configure the sound system for this Bose. Device connections, user profiles, screen layout right there. So let me show you guys under screen layout. You can actually configure the cluster right here. So right now it's in a classic. So this is the classic view. Now I'm gonna switch it over to simple. You can see right there you have the digital tach right there and speeder over there on that side, which honestly I have to say definitely does look more futuristic and cooler. You can change the various different views. You can have it linked to your drive modes, so I'll show you guys the drive modes in a second, but you have 3 different views. So this is style A, style B, and then style C right there, which is more of like sport view, but I'll just go ahead and leave that on there. You can also preset a button right there for this button right here inside of the center console, as well as 2 buttons on the steering wheel. So one right there and then the mode button up top. I have it set to quiet mode. And then your general settings right there. It does also have over-the-air updates as well. Going out of settings, you do have your vehicle diagnostics, maintenance settings, HD radio data notifications, and built-in owner's manual as well. Push button start. You have a couple of shortcut preset buttons right here, and a dual zone climate control with 2 zones for both the driver and the front passenger. Now looking further down, you do have your USB-C ports to connect to the infotainment. So right now I have my phone connected for the CarPlay and Android Auto. Now if I hit this button, it'll be just for charging. And if I hit this button again, it'll be for the CarPlay and charging. And this one is just for charging right here. And then you have your 12-volt charger right there. Further down below, you do have a wireless charging pad, which does have pretty good space, definitely for the bigger phones out there on the market. 3-stage heated front seats. Auto hold, your backup camera shortcut button right there. And then your drive mode change. So you can basically change between a snow mode, a sport mode, and a normal mode, which is your default. And an all drive lock in the middle. 2 cup holders, which are pretty good size, as well as the center console in the middle. You have a upper center console right here for small stuff. And then the main center console down below with this little guard right here so things aren't flying. Your glove box over here, which is a pretty good size. Some more storage area right here. You can see the red accents really just pops around this interior. It really works with the whole inline design. You also have in right there on the steering wheel, on the seat backs, and the suede right here you have a little bit more red. And then up top you do have some LED illumination and a power moonroof. And the shade is also powered as well, which is cool. So you push that, slides all the way back, and tilts open. And you do also have the wind deflector right there. Up top, you do have LED illumination with your visor. But let's go and take the Kona for a drive and see how she does. We are behind the wheel of the 2024 Hyundai Kona. Right now, we are in normal mode, which is the default mode when you do start up the vehicle. Now, let's talk about visibility out the front, rear, and sides. I can see very good out the front, as well as out the side mirrors, and even out the back. Now, when first setting off in the Hyundai Kona, you do notice that going is the 7-speed dual clutch when paired with this 1.6-liter turbo 4-cylinder in the previous generation. And now you have a 8-speed automatic transmission, which has way smoother shifts and is a better transition, especially at slow speeds. I recently had the chance to drive the previous generation for work. It's about 60 miles total. It's an inline version, literally in the same. It's a white color as well, which is kind of cool, but yeah. But you do notice a couple of like ionic kind of touches inside the key fob, the gear shifter right here, as well as like the seat controls, all kind of ionic style touches right there. Now, just in around city town driving, this is ready to get about 24 miles to the gallon in the city, 29 on the highway, and 26 combined. Now, the 1.6-liter turbo does have pretty good torque around city driving. We have a base 2-liter version, which makes 147 horsepower, and an electric version, which will be coming at a later date, which has 260 all-electric miles, and will charge from 10 to 80% in 43 minutes. Now, the inline does stand out with the red accents around the interior and a more blacked out sporty exterior design versus the limited package and lower end trims, which will be coming at a later date. But I have to say, this thing definitely is a looker on the road. Just the way and the design and everything about the vehicle is just nice. But let's go ahead and put it in sport mode for a minute. New for the inline is also paddle shifters as well. The previous generation didn't have paddle shifters, which this is a nice addition. By doing a try a 0 to 60, we're going to turn on traction control and try it out. Brake booster. And 60 felt about the 7.3 second range. This vehicle's about 3,400 pounds. You can hear a little bit of a burp on the upshift as well, which is kind of cool. I know the Elantra inline has this as well. Let's try the paddles. Give me a downshift. Let's go from first gear so I can hear the burp again. This thing moves though. I have to say, to be honest, when I first saw the Kona, it really didn't impress me, but the moment I drove one, especially one with the 1.6 liter turbo, I was like, man, this thing just really gets up and goes. And the electric version is even crazy. That thing just spins like crazy, especially at low speeds. But the first generation Kona, I had a nickname called the Pineapple because of its like shape. It was very compact Jeep, kind of sat up high, and it was literally like a pineapple on wheels. But yeah, sport mode definitely is fun. You do also have a snow mode as well for inclement weather. You can also lock the all-wheel drive system right there. But we'll go ahead and throw that back into normal mode. And as we just sit here at the light, chilling with no problem at all, I'm noticing it actually doesn't have auto start stop, which is one thing I did notice when I first drove the vehicle. It should be like a default, like defeat button or something like around here somewhere. But speaking of seat comfort, as we say, you have this kind of leather and suede finishes you guys can see right here, with N embroidered in the back in the red accents or piping right there side of the suede section, which I have to say the seats are definitely comfortable. And you do have 3-stage heated front seats. Now I do believe when you go for the limited package, you will actually get cool seats. You'll get the smart park function, 360 camera, and a couple other niceties, which once one arrives, I'll definitely show you guys in a separate review. The infotainment does work good as well. And I love the new graphics with this new infotainment system. Now I do wish that it did have wireless CarPlay and Android Auto. Now I am hearing that the new 24 Sonata and or Elantra will actually get that feature as well. So that's kind of a bummer that it didn't incorporate into this. I don't know if they didn't have time or what, but you can see right there, just giving it a little bit of throttle, the turbo comes on. The mid-range torque is phenomenal. Also with the screen too, you do have over-the-air updates, so they can actually update over the air with the built-in updates, which I have to say is cool. Now, ride comfort around the city, you can definitely tell the longer wheelbase with multi-link suspension in the rear aids with that, so it really does improve the ride quality. And speaking of dimensions, it's about 5.7 inches longer at 172 inches, and it's 2.3 inches wider, so it definitely does have a lot more room for its occupants, and especially in the back seats where dimensions have went up by 30%. And this thing is still fun around the corners for a tiny subcompact SUV. Thing just gets up. But as we cruise right here on the highway, I'm going to throw it back into normal mode, and we'll go ahead and throw on the adaptive cruise control. You have up to 4 following distances using the camera up top, so I can go down to 1 and out to 4. You set your speed right there, and you just have lane keep assist right there with steer assist. You see right there, they're putting on brakes, we're putting on brakes. We'll go down to 2 following distances, And you do also have lane keeping assist. So let's try veering over the lane. See if it'll. So you see it will give you a vibration right here in the steering wheel to tell you to come back over into your lane. But at highway speeds, the cabin is pretty quiet, going at about 60-ish miles an hour or so. Just a little highway pull. Definitely does have a lot of power. Now this 1.6 has 190 horsepower with 195 pound-foot of torque. And this is definitely an engine I would get if I was going to get the Kona for sure. But it's just very calm and quiet at highway speeds. Now I'm quite sure you can get just over 29 mpg on the highway, and maybe some more. You can probably get in the low 30s if you're like really easy on the throttle on the highway. And around city driving with 24 around the city, you can probably get maybe 24, 26 if you really use a lot of like coasting and different techniques like low HVACs to eke out all the mpgs. Now, as I get a little bit closer to the dealership, I want to get to the conclusion of what I think about the 24 Kona. Now, first off, the exterior styling, I have to say, is amazing. If Iron Man was a car, this would be it right here. Especially if it was like a red, definitely would look like in the Iron Man like helmet, the way it looks from the front. But the exterior styling is definitely an A+, stands out in the crowd, futuristic, yet aggressive at the same time. Let's throw it back into sport. Now, I do like the tech with these dual 12.3-inch displays. I just wish they incorporated the wireless CarPlay and Android Auto. First gear. But I do wish that they did incorporate the wireless CarPlay and Android Auto. That's probably the only gripe I do have with the infotainment. Other than that, it's great and offers a lot of technology. The graphics are great. Navigation works easy. And I like the interior appointments. You got the red accents making this feel different from a standard Kona. The kind of suede material right here in the seats with the leather is nice. And maybe, I don't know, maybe a digital camera mirror up top. That'll probably be the only thing I would add other than everything else that's here. But I can't wait to try out the limited package once that comes in to see what the fully loaded, all options Kona offers and how it competes in the segment, especially with things like the Honda HR-V or the Chevy Trax and vehicles in that segment, or Nissan Kicks. It'll be interesting to see how that compares. But that's all I really had to say about the 24 Kona. Love the styling, love the interior, the setups, everything's just nice. But that's going to wrap up this video. This is Chris signing out, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.